China has alerted how all trading negotiations among Beijing and Washington will be empty if the U.S. sets up trading sanctions regime. Following negotiations among defect Prime Liu He and U.S. Trade Secretariat Wilbur Ross, China told it was prepared to increase imports of lot countries. Meantime, G7 nations include hit out at the U.S. above its new steel and aluminum importing tariff. France Financial Secretary Bruno Le Maire alerted a trading war could start in a few days. He says steel tariff will defend U.S. steelmakers, that he says are urgent to domestic safety. Mr. Trump card has as well complained on impeding U.S. firms person in Europe and in another place. Period. To get clever, he added. To carry out the unanimity achieved in Washington, the two sides had nice communicating in different areas such as farming and power, and include done favorable and specific advance time. Pertinent detailed information are yet to be affirmed by both of sides, the declaration told. But country news story agent Xinhua transferred a declaration that alerted versus a trading war and told the two sides should encounter every some part path. Reformation and discovery up and expansion national consumer demand are China's domestic strategies. Our set beat will not changing, it told. If the joint state introduces trading sanctions regime consisting tariff, all the economical and trading artistic achievements agreed by the two parties will be empty. Analysts say how the declaration could include been intended as a bargaining tactics designed at growing blood pressure on China front of Saturday's meet, among critique at household how Mr. Trump card is departure gentle on China. No collaborative declaration was given at the end of Saturday's meet in Beijing, and down there has been no answer to the China comments by the U.S. party. At a warmed meet in the Canada ski refuge of Informer, the EU and Canada endangered to answer versus tariff of 25% on steel and 10% on aluminum, whose realization Mr. Ross announced on Thursday. But U.S. Exchequer Secretariat Stephen Mnuchin rejected how the U.S. had neglected management in the world economics and told he had gone on the some country's powerful ego to Mr. Trump card. Our reporter says sarcastic discussion is potential to go on following weekend while the leaders of the G7 countries, consisting Mr. Trump card, encounter for a summit conference in Quebec. Canada, Mexico and the EU along exported $23 billion cost of steel and aluminum to the U.S. in 2017, almost part of the $48 billion of full steel and aluminum imports recent year. The EU has answered to the U.S. ad in a 10-web-page listing of tariff on U.S. consumer goods range of Harley-Davidson motorcycles to bourbon. Canada plans to levy tariff of up to 25% on $13 billion cost of U.S. supply of July 1 consumer goods struck will involve several steel, as customer means such as yogurt, scotch and coffee.